A big hello from me at Paul Rolls Dice, and today I will be taking us through the setup and gameplay of Star Wars the deck building game. Now, before we get to firing the blaster bolts and destroying the enemy bases, we do need to grab all of our starting cards. So, both players, the Empire and the Rebel players, will take their starting deck of cards. Each of these decks comes with 10 cards, and the Empire is as follows: 2 Stormtroopers, 7 Imperial Shuttles, and an Inquisitor. There we go. And the Rebels, 2 Rebel Troopers, 7 Alliance Shuttles, and a Temple Guardian. Now, for simplicity, to make this a little bit easier for you guys to see, I will set up one side of the board, just so you know the player will be doing, the opponent will be doing the exact same thing on their side. So we will set up as the Empire. That is the starter deck there. Next, we will take the Empire's starting base cards, which are Lothal, Corellia, Coruscant, Death Star, and Endor. Lothal goes first, the others are underneath it, and they are just placed in front of you like so. Deck goes there. Next, we take the Galaxy deck and we lay this in the middle of our playing area. We then draw 6 cards, lay them out, and that becomes the Galaxy row. Now, depending on the cards, these will be available for purchase as we're playing between the Empire and the Rebel players. So we'll draw those. So we have Boba Fett. Because Boba Fett is an Empire card, we are the Empire. The card faces us. We have a capital ship, again, Empire card, facing us. We then have a Rebel card, so it does face the opponent, but we do get to see the information on the bottom side for us. I'll explain what that means as we play the game later in the video. Another Rebel card even, Han Solo. We then have a neutral card. Neutral cards are placed sideways because they are accessible to both players. And the final card, number 6, another Empire card. Now, just note, before you do lay out the Galaxy deck, make sure to separate the outer rim cards from the main cards. This is a 90 card deck. There are 10 outer rim pilots. They do say so on the bottom. These, again, are accessible to all players, and you just lay these sideways at the end of the Galaxy row. Next, we take all damage counters and resource counters and place them within access of both players. And finally, we take the balance of the force track. We unfold this. This goes at the opposite end of the outer rim pilots, but because we can't see it on this video, I'll just put it in the middle here for you to see. We are the Empire, so that faces us, and the Rebels there. Now, at the beginning of the game, we take the force tracker counter, and the Rebels begin with the force. Again, whilst we're playing the game, I'll explain how this works. And that is the full setup for Star Wars the deck building game. The only thing we do now is draw the top 5 cards of our deck, the opponent as well. The Empire goes first, and we are ready to begin our first turn. So I will see you at the full setup in a second, and we'll play a few rounds. Okay, so the game is now set up, and I have moved to a digital version of the game, so please forgive me if that's a little bit jarring. I have set up the Galaxy row just as it was a moment ago when we did set up with my real cards, and we can now see a turn in action. So we have our hand of cards, and the aim is to play as many cards as you can on your turn, fast turnaround, build your deck, and destroy your opponent's bases before they destroy yours. So a base game will go through 3 of these bases. So these would be my 3. The first base is always Lothal in the standard kind of game, but then you can look through the deck and pick another base as your second or third ones as your bases get destroyed, to kind of use their tactical advantages that are printed on the cards. So we've got Lothal as the first one, and the Rebel player does have Dantooine. Also, please forgive me about the keyboard noises. My microphone doesn't have a noise gate thing on it. I know it's a little bit annoying, but we'll manage. We'll manage. I'll try and restrict the noises as I can. So anyway, first turn, we are going to play some or all of our cards from our starting hand. So the Imperial Shuttle, the first card we'll take a look at. We'll start with all of the symbolism and things. So the big yellow number in the corner, that's the cost of the card if you purchase it. This is a starter deck. It costs nothing, and you never ever pay this cost to play a card. Once you purchase the card, it is in your deck. You play it for free. That's one thing you need to remember. It's a fast turnaround game. It's a very fast-paced game. The symbol just underneath the little cube with the 1, that's the amount of resources this card gives us or generates when we play it onto the field. And then every card has got a name, a unit type, and some flavor text or keywords as well. So, because this is the starting deck, these cards are very, very simple. I'm going to take these 3 right here, and I'm going to generate 3 resources. Now, I would normally use the yellow resource cubes, but because we're on the digital game, I can just click this marker here and generate 3 resources. Now, with those 3 resources, I can take a look at the cards in the row and see if there's anything I would like to purchase. So, I will spend my 3 and purchase the Galactic Cruiser just there. It costs 3. The purple number in the bottom corner is the cruiser's health, and when you purchase a card, it goes straight into your discard pile, just like any other deck builder game if you have played them. But if you haven't, I'll just explain. Deck builders generally, you purchase a card, you put it in your discard pile, and then on a future turn, when you would shuffle your deck, it then becomes available. 3 resources spent, so I'll just knock these down. In the real game, you'll just move the yellow cubes back into the general supply. And what you do next, as soon as a card leaves the row, you put another card in the row. This is a neutral card, so it automatically turns sideways so both players can see it. I've spent those 3 resources. I do have 2 cards in my hand still, so we'll play the Stormtrooper card down. We'll zoom in again and show you. Again, costs nothing. The number 2 next to the pistol symbol there is the damage. Now you can use this damage to attack an enemy base or an enemy capital ship. Capital ships like the one I just purchased a moment ago, this one right there, you play those and place them in front of your base. They are essentially defense points or buffers to stop your base getting attacked. So because the enemy doesn't have any capital ships yet, because it's the first turn, I would do a straight 2 damage to the base. So if we zoom over to the base, Dantooine, we would then lay 2 damage counters onto the base in the real game, or with this one, we would just bump up the number there. Because I'm playing as the Empire, and this is a 2-player digital version, I can't actually bump that up. So we do actually have the purple damage cubes. So we will place those on. That's 2 points there, and Dantooine does have a health of 8. Once we blow it up, we move on to the second one, and as I said earlier, the aim of the game is to destroy 3 bases before they destroy yours. So, that's one Stormtrooper card done. We do have another one. I'll play that down and do exactly the same thing. That is another 2 points of damage. So we've knocked the planet down to half already. Next, with no resources left to spend and no cards to play, all of those go into my discard pile, if it will let me discard them, please. It's not letting me do it all together, which is a bit annoying. Fine, we'll put them in separately. I've got to separate them now. So discard pile, discard pile. There we go. See, when I tested this, when I wasn't recording, it allowed me to do that. But obviously, because we're recording, things go wrong. But it's fine, it's fine. So, end of my turn, the last thing you do on your turn, if you have any cards in your hand, you have to discard them, and then you draw back up to 5. So we've got 5 cards there because it's a 10 card starter deck. We draw those 5, and there's my hand for the next turn, and we have drawn the Inquisitor. Again, 0 cost because it's a starter card, but the Inquisitor does have a keyword, so when it comes into play, you choose one of the following. They either gain 1 damage, generate 1 resource, or 1 force. Now, the rebel player starts with the force, so if we go over to the actual force tracker, I can show you what this would mean. So the cube starts with the rebels. That 1 force that the Inquisitor generates would allow me to move that cube once along the track, and again, because it's digital, we can click it and it should, I don't know why it's messed up there, it would go there. So we'd move it away from the rebel force area at the bottom of the force tracker. Now, although it's moved 1 space, the rebels do not get the benefit of the extra bonus resource on their turn, but it is still, the force is still with the rebels. These 3 spaces here, 1, 2 and 3, those are the rebel spaces, and 1, 2, 3 are the Empire. If the tracker is ever in the middle, there the force is with nobody. And then you wouldn't get the benefits of any cards that say, some cards for instance would say, if the force is with the Empire, do this. If the force is with the rebels, do this. But you get the gist. That's how it would work. So the rebels still do have the force on this game. So what we can do, we can flip over to the rebels, and we'll take a turn of the rebels and see what they would do in this situation. So if I just flip over, hopefully that didn't give anyone motion sickness. We now zoom in to the rebel side. We have the rebel cards. Dantooine has taken 4 points of damage, so we'll see what we can do. So Alliance Shuttle is the same as the Imperial one. It generates 1 resource, so we would throw all 4 of those onto the field for 4 resources. There we go, we've got 4 there. We can now take a look at the Galaxy Row to see if there's anything we can purchase. Let's have a look. So we have Han Solo for 5. Now, what we can do, we have our Temple Guardian, which is the same as the Empire Inquisitor. You can choose what to generate, either damage, resource, or force. Now, I'm going to use this as a resource, so we'll bump that up to 5, allowing us to purchase Han Solo, a very powerful card in the early game. Han Solo goes into the discard pile. We then generate a new card from the row. It is General Veers. That is an Empire card, but we can show the upside down part. This is for us, this is for the rebels. So if we deal damage to this card equal to 4 or above, then we would gain the reward of the card, and we would gain 3 force. You can't do it for neutral cards, they don't have that that information, or capital ships, you can't do it. But other cards, look, I would gain 3 for that. Who else is there? There we go. If I destroyed Boba Fett, I would gain 3 resources and 2 force. And these are optional, by the way. You don't have to take them, but it would be kind of crazy not to, really. And also, when you do damage things in the row, you need to deal damage totaling that amount. So you would need to deal damage totaling 4 just there. You can't say deal 2 damage, then 2 on another turn like you can with a base. You have to destroy the card in one instance, but you can use any number of cards to do the attack. So, rebel turn, that's everything done, I think. We are going to discard. I'll have to do all of this manually one by one because the game doesn't like me, but it's fine. And then we would draw 5 cards, so we would get the remainder of the rebel starting deck just there. Again, we will flip round 2. I should have stated, I made a little bit of a mistake, I do apologise. We do have the force just here on the tracker, so we would have actually generated 1 additional force. So with that 1 additional force, I would probably just buy this little Jawa, because the Jawa is only 1. We may as well throw him into the deck, and we'll generate another card, which is Imperial Landing Craft. We can't do anything, but we could gain a reward if we blow it up. So now we are ready to move on to the Empire, who we were initially playing. So we've got our 5 cards. Our turn begins. Again, Imperial Shuttles, we are just going to throw all 4 of these down to generate 4 points of resource. Now, what can we buy? We've got General Veers, we've got Boba Fett costs 5. Now, we do have the Inquisitor, so I'm going to throw the Inquisitor down. I'm going to generate a resource, so we now total 5. We can now purchase Boba Fett. Boba Fett goes into the discard pile. We generate a new card. It comes out. We have the Bounty Hunter Dengar. He is neutral, so anyone can purchase that. All of these cards are done. We now discard, and now, although I don't actually have a deck, we never reshuffle our deck until instructed to do so, because anything in the game, another kind of event may happen that forces me to put more cards into my discard. But because we've ended our turn, we now grab our entire deck, we flip it over, we shuffle, and we draw 5. And now hopefully we may draw some of our new cards, and we have indeed. So for next turn we have Boba Fett and our first capital ship to defend our planet. And now we will move back over to the rebels. So, rebels. First things first, I will remember this time, if I get rid of the resources. We do have the force, so we get 1 point there. And then we will pull out our cards. What have we got? It's a basic hand. So we will do Alliance Shuttle, Alliance Shuttle, Alliance Shuttle. That generates 3 resources. So we're on a total of 4. So let's see what we can do. So 4 means we do have enough to destroy any of these Imperial cards to gain some benefit. I think that might be a good thing to do. So let's see who gives us the most though. So 3, if we kill Veers, we gain 3 force. That would stop the rebels having the extra resource on the force tracker. We would gain 4 resources from destroying this one, and we would gain 3. So I think, right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to bring out our rebel troopers, and I'll show you how an attack works. Now, The rebel troopers both have the 2 damage. So we're going to team up these 2 rebels. We're going to attack the landing craft, dealing the full 4 that we need to destroy it, because we have got to do it in 1 turn. This then goes into the discard. We generate a new card, and it becomes Rhodian Gunslinger. That is actually Greedo. All of our cards' effects have now been used. These all go into the discard pile. We gained our reward for destroying the shuttle, which was 4 resources. We are now sitting on 8 resources. And I think because we don't have a capital ship or anything just yet, let's go... I mean, it's not a capital ship, but it's a pricey card. Add a bounty hunter from your discard pile to your hand. Interesting. That could be good if we got Dengar as well, because I think Dengar is a bounty hunter. And it does, so with this card, it costs 7 to purchase. We've got 8, so we can do it. It deals 4 damage and generates 3 resources when we do play it. That's a no-brainer. We are purchasing that. That goes into there. We generate another card. And we have Twi'lek Smuggler. We've got 1 point of resource left. I don't think we can do anything with it. There's nothing on the board that's costing 1. So that would be an end turn. Same again. We grab the entire discard pile. We shuffle it. We draw 5. And then we take a look at our hand, and it would be over to the Imperial player. Right, let's see what we can do. So, we have a turn now where we can actually showcase a capital ship. So first and foremost, we will throw it out. Remember, the yellow number is the purchase cost of the cards. You don't ever have to pay this cost to play them. You just throw them straight out onto the field. So it does have a keyword as well. Discard 1 card from your hand to draw 1 card. We also generate 2 resources. So we'll take the resources first. I need to keep remembering to get rid of that. So 1, 2 from the cruiser. We would then... discard a card to draw a card. I'm going to discard the Inquisitor maybe? We'll just see what happens. We'll get rid of the Inquisitor and we get to draw 1 card. What have we got? We've got a shuttle. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing anyway. So, Imperial Shuttle, we generate 1 more resource. Right, we have 3 resources to play with. What can we get? We could get the Twi'lek Smuggler. Generate 3 resources. Place the next card you purchase this turn on top of your deck. So yeah, we would purchase that. So that costs 3. Gone. And then we do have 3 big cards. The Scout Trooper goes into the row, and we may as well start attacking with some big boys. So Boba Fett straight onto the field. When Boba Fett defeats a target in the Galaxy row, draw 1 card. Now we could use him to destroy some things in the row, or with Dantooine being there having 4, we can do some big damage. So Stormtrooper and Stormtrooper, they both deal 2 damage each, which means we will deal 4 damage to Dantooine. Dantooine only has 8. It's already got 4 on it, so we actually destroy Dantooine. So in this little explanation of the game, we take this and we place Dantooine on our side of the field, showing that we have destroyed 1 base. Now at the beginning of the Empire's next turn, they need to choose a base from their deck of cards. And once we destroy 3, or they destroy 3 of ours, it is game over. So, Stormtroopers are done. Boba Fett is going to utilise his ability, I think. He's got an attack of 5. We only need 2 to kill that Snowspeeder. So, we will blow up the Snowspeeder and we will get the reward. Exile 1 card from your hand or discard pile. Now, that sounds a little bit counterproductive, exiling cards, but this is a deck building game and you want to get rid of the weaker cards in your deck. So, any of these starting cards, they are technically the weakest cards in the game. And you want to exile those to shrink the size of your deck and allow you to draw your powerful cards quicker, the ones that you're purchasing from the row. So that's a few turns of the game. I won't run the entire game because it will take 30 minutes or so. I hope you found this video interesting, informative. I hope this has maybe encouraged you to take a look at the game. It's a really, really cool game. I played my first game yesterday with my friend Rich Mid Gaming. I'll leave a link to his channel. He does all sorts of cool Star Wars content and tabletop stuff. I'm sure you'll love his channel, so check him out. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.